Hey everyone! ChatGP Taylor aka Taylor here. Welcome back to the channel, and happy Halloween. It's that time of the year again, where people get to dress up in fun and scary costumes and have some fun. And whether that fun involves going door to ask for candy, or hanging with friends at Halloween parties, there's something fun for everyone to enjoy. But of course, one of the most notable parts of Halloween is seeing what new costumes everyone decides to wear during this fun occasion. Last year, I made a video going through each of the campers from the first 3 seasons and discussing what costumes I think they would dress up in for Halloween. So this year, I decided to do the same thing with the season 4 campers. It's time to see what costumes I think they'll sport for this year's Halloween. Let's get started. Before I begin, make sure to like and subscribe if this video is to your liking, and make sure to comment down below if there's anything that you would like to see going forward. And one more thing. I'm using a bit of a different tone with this video, which involves me using a different text-to-speech voice to emphasize this new tone. If you've been watching my videos since last year, then you probably know the tone that I'll be using for this video. But if you haven't, let's just say, don't take anything I say in this video too seriously. I'm just trying to poke a little fun at the campers. And with that, let's finally begin.
Let's start this off with a banger by talking about the controversial Olympian himself, Logan. Logan's costume is very easy to pick. I see him dressing up as a pancake for Halloween. Now he can flip whenever he wants without upsetting anyone, because that's exactly what a pancake is meant to do. Following Logan, let's go to one of his close friends, Richard. I see Richard dressing up as Rapunzel. If there's one thing that most people know about Rapunzel, it's that she has extremely long hair. Therefore, becoming Rapunzel is probably Richard's best hope at knowing what it's like to have a full head of hair again. He was also blonde when he was younger, so that's a plus. Speaking of blonde, let's talk about our favorite Minnesotan mom, Lynda. I think Lynda would dress up as the ice climber from the Ice Climber video game. This doesn't really have anything to do with Lynda herself, but from what I've heard, Minnesota gets really cold at this time of year, so it'd be good to give Lynda a costume that would help her fight off the cold. So, the ice climber's winter jacket would probably be a blessing for Lynda during the late October weather. And as a bonus, she gets a big hammer, which she could use to knock out Anastasia if she wanted to. Speaking of Anastasia, let's talk about her costume next. And actually, I'm going to do something different by giving her a pair costume with Marissa. After all, pair costumes are fairly common among couples, so I think this would be a cool thing to add. For these two, I'll have them dress up as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which as we know from episode 18 of season 4, Marissa loves. Sure, Anastasia may not be thrilled with walking around as a piece of bread, but if anyone could convince her to do so, it's Marissa. Now why would this couple's costume make sense? Well, I think Anastasia and Marissa embody peanut butter and jelly really well. Anastasia is peanut butter because there's always a debate in the community between Anastasia's fans and haters, just like there's a debate between the fans of smooth peanut butter and the fans of crunchy peanut butter. And Marissa is jelly because she's the sweeter half of the pairing that complements the peanut butter. Seems like a good pairing for a classic food. And on the topic of food, let's talk about Zaid. It only makes sense to have the chef dress up as a food. And in the spirit of Halloween, let's have him dress up as a koala taco. After all, a cardinal part of Halloween is the scary aspect of it, and I think it's safe to say that the thought of a koala taco is scary in its own unique way. It certainly scared Tristan and Ivy when they first heard that Zaid cooked koala tacos. Speaking of Tristan, let's talk about them next. Given Tristan's darker aesthetic, I think it would be cool to give them a very spooky costume, such as the Headless Horseman. After all, a tenet of Halloween is the spookiness, so giving Tristan a very spooky costume like the Headless Horseman would probably be welcomed by them. Although, it may be hard to make it seem like they actually have no head. If only there was someone around that could give them a head on their shoulders.
I'm all about giving good head.
That's not what I was talking about, Benji. But while he's here, let's talk about Benji next. Well, we know that Benji is already used to dressing up in costumes, so let's be nice and give him a fun costume. According to Benji's wiki page, he loves Naruto and Sailor Moon. So, let's keep it simple and give him a Naruto costume and a Sailor Moon costume. I know it might seem odd to give Benji a Sailor Moon costume, but I honestly think that Benji is self-confident enough to wear that outfit and tune out all of the haters. And I admire that about him. Speaking of haters, let's talk about someone who has some vocal haters, and that's Jade. I think Jade would dress up like a shark. Considering how much she loves turtles, if her goal was to be scary, it's natural to dress as the turtle's natural predator, which is a shark. Hopefully she doesn't scare the baby turtles that she picked up on the beach. Although, considering that she picked up a baby turtle when you're not supposed to, I guess she can't do much worse than she already has. Speaking of worse, let's talk about the last place finisher in season 4, Alessio. I have Alessio dressing up as a ripped piece of paper. You might not think that's too scary. But from what I've heard, there's no bigger fear for an artist than to be halfway through a project when you accidentally rip the paper you're drawing on. Word to the wise. Stick to the drawing tablets if you can. From the artist on paper to the artist on screen, let's talk about Ivy. I have Ivy dressing up like a handheld mirror. This might seem weird, but hear me out. Anastasia presumably cares a lot about beauty and her looks. So chances are that if Anastasia had a handheld mirror, she would constantly stare at it to check on her looks. And from what I've heard in the community, Ivy certainly wouldn't mind it if Anastasia kept staring at her, if you know what I mean.
You mean I was one elimination away from getting to finally talk to Anastasia? I mean, from branching out to the next level of the game?
Smooth.
Anyways, while Ivy may like Anastasia, let's talk about someone who she doesn't like, Spencer. I can picture Spencer dressing up as a giant dumbbell. After all, Spencer admitted that he's a mathlete, not an athlete, so perhaps he thinks dumbbells are scary too. And I can't blame him. After watching Logan flipping back and forth throughout the game, I'd be scared of dumbbells too. Following Spencer, let's look at someone who was heavily involved with Spencer this season, Diego. I don't really have a joke for this one, so I'll just do something simple. Diego's favorite animal seems to be a red panda, so let's give him a red panda costume. Knowing Diego, he'd probably appreciate how furry and soft it is and then start giving his friends hugs. It would probably make them feel better. Speaking of Diego's friends, let's talk about Hannah. I say we give Hannah one of Jake's hoodies and have her pretend to be Jake. This might seem odd, but when I was looking at Hannah's wiki page, apparently her cat's name is Tom. So, I think it only makes sense for her to dress up like Jake. And hey, her bond with her cat is probably the same as Jake's and Tom's bond before Season 3. After all, we know that cats don't respond when we call them, and Tom didn't respond when Jake tried calling him between seasons. Perfect match in my book, even though the outfit isn't exactly stylish. And speaking of stylish outfits, let's talk about Amelie next. Of course, it's known that Amelie prefers wearing expensive outfits, and I'm sure we would all expect her to wear an expensive costume. So if Amelie wanted to truly scare people, I think it would be a good idea for her to wear a super casual outfit like a tracksuit and sneakers. Sure, Amelie probably wouldn't like it that much, but it would be such a drastic change from the norm that it would probably be terrifying for some viewers. She'd probably change back into a pantsuit as soon as she could, though. Speaking of suits, let's talk about Ted next. Get it? Because he's a poker player, which involves decks of cards with suits. Anyways, I think Ted would dress up as a king. Not just because he should be a king, but also because it fits his career, since a king is also a type of playing card. And as many poker players know, while a king may be a valuable card, sometimes they can be a pain in the ace. And no, that's not a typo. Now we move on to our penultimate camper, Natalia. I see Natalia dressing up in a suit and carrying a briefcase, much like a lawyer. Since Natalia is a PR specialist, she's basically a lawyer for people's public images, so I think dressing up as a lawyer fits for Natalia. And considering how many people hate Anastasia and Logan online, Natalia certainly won't be short of clients for the foreseeable future. Good luck, Natalia. You'll need it. And let's cap off the list by talking about Isabel. I'm actually going to give Isabel 2 costumes. And these costumes are a witch's outfit and a pink dress. You might recognize these outfits as the outfits from the 2 leads in the film titled Wicked. And considering how scared Isabel is at being seen as wicked, I think these costumes would perfectly fit the scary element of Halloween for her. At the very least, it'll be scary for her.
And that about does it for this video. Feel free to leave your thoughts on my costume choice for each camper down below, and let me know what costumes you think each camper would wear. Either way, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like the video, click subscribe if you really like the video, and for some ending words of wisdom. You don't have to have the scariest costume to rule supreme during Halloween. Sometimes being a massively tall, robotic clown is more than enough to terrify people. Thank you, and farewell.